Hi, this is a video overview of my car Android tablet. I've had a couple of requests to just kind of go over how I installed it, what I use it for, and certainly what some of the limitations are. As you can see right now, I've got the AC vents pulled out because here in a minute I'm going to kind of peek behind the scenes there and show you kind of how I've got some of it wired up. Some of the basics first. This is a Samsung Galaxy Tab 7 Plus. It is 3G model, has data connection that I do use. I have a data plan through AT&T. I pay about $30 a month for that. I certainly had the option of getting a Wi-Fi model and just tethering an internet connection through my cell phone. I'd save a little money doing that. Like I said, I do pay $30 a month for the data plan. However, my thinking was that I really wanted this to be something that even if I'm just getting in the car for 2 minutes to drive to the grocery store or something, that it still works. It's not something I don't want to have to get in the car and mess with something every time. I don't want to have to worry about turning on tethering or making sure it's syncing up properly with my phone. I just I turn on the ignition and it works. And to kind of give a demonstration of that right now, so I have this set up with an application called Tasker, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. It's just basically, if you're not familiar with Tasker, what it is an application that it'll read different inputs. So I know this is hard to read, but this is AC power. So when it detects AC power, it'll take a list of actions. And the actions here are, so it's going to turn off airplane mode, unlock the phone, set the volume to high, it tells it to keep the screen on and not time out. So that's currently the mode it's in. Now when I go to battery power, it's going to mute everything. It's going to go to airplane mode, and then in 7 seconds the screen's going to shut off. So again, kind of really similar to a car stereo, that is. Now when I turn it back on, get the AC going, it's hot. It's going to come out of airplane mode and start playing music again. Comes out, turns everything on, ready to go. So that's achieved by it's hooked into basically just an auxiliary cigarette lighter that I attached to the car. I attached it actually out of the wiring harness on the head unit. I put a clip in there. So if we can get back in here, let's see how good we can get back here. Let me show you some of this stuff there. So this white plug right here is the factory harness for my Mazda. This red part here is something I bought off eBay, and all it is just extends all those wires out. These are used for any aftermarket stereo. These wires would typically just go into the stereo. Again, this comes from the vehicle's factory harness. Now this yellow line right here is an ignition switched 12-volt line. So that means it's hot when the car is on and the circuit's open when the car is off. So that's what I use to power. I don't know if I can find it here. Right here, this black tube right here is just you can buy these at Radio Shack for like $5. It's just an auxiliary cigarette lighter that taps into the 12-volt switch line here and plugs into the tablet. Now, if I can see if I can see the back of the tablet, and this is a bad angle, but this is really all it is the dash kit here is a Scosche double DIN dash kit. You can buy these for just about any car. They're pretty cheap. I think this one's about $20, and it's typically used to mount an aftermarket stereo. However, I took a Dremel and just basically hacked everything off, and you're seeing the back of the tablet right there. And yes, really the only thing holding on is string. I can't see the screen, so I'm not sure if this is showing you guys anything or if it just is blurry. But I JB welded down 4 metal loops, and just took a piece of string and basically tied it on there. I didn't really expect it to work, but it did, so I didn't mess with it after that. Get my AC back on now. So it's just mounted back there. Now the audio just comes out the headphone jack. So it comes out the headphone jack, goes into a 1/8 or 3.5 millimeter, whatever, converts it to RCA, and then from RCA it comes down the middle of the console here, and here it is right here. So on this top end here on my index finger, That's coming from up here at the tablet, and it's going into this volume control module, I guess you could say, because you could certainly control the volume with the screen on here. I think that's very unsafe and not very accurate. It's really just a pain in the ass to use. I wouldn't recommend it. So I would absolutely tell somebody they should get something like this so that they have a physical knob to control volume with. Now, yeah, it's kind of jank looking right here. That's not my permanent setup. I'm going to eventually flush mount this so we're just the knob. I'll take a Dremel and knock off these screw mounts here and have just this knob poking out. I don't know, maybe here, probably up here, wherever I feel like putting it, I guess. But for right now, I'm just being lazy and sticking my hand down here. This is where my cup holders usually are. So out of that same factory harness, the speaker wires come out. You can see them running down through here. They run back to the trunk, and I'm not going to show you because I'm not really going to do a guide on how to hook up a stereo. But all this just runs back to the trunk. We have two amplifiers. One is pushing two 10-inch subs, and the other amplifier is pushing the factory speakers, obviously. Speaking of this guy right here, one of the main issues I've been having is battery heat. So here in Louisville, Kentucky, it gets pretty hot in the summer, and I've had an issue with the tablet overheating. I'll come out right now. It's sitting 30 degrees centigrade, which is perfectly fine. That's most cell phones will sit around that, on average. But when I come out, to go to lunch, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, sun's middle of the sky, it's getting about 60 degrees centigrade and complaining that the battery's overheating. So that's definitely a problem I'm having right now. I bought this on Amazon for about 12 bucks. I'm going to try a sun visor in the windshield to see if that will reflect away enough of the sun's energy to keep the battery at a nice cool temperature. If that doesn't work, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'll have to figure something out to keep the battery from overheating. A couple other ideas I have are, right now, the plastic case is still on the back of this, so I assume that's trapping some heat in there. It's obviously not getting very good circulation down there, so I've had some suggestions online of putting a solar-powered fan back here. So maybe the solar module would sit up here, the fan would be mounted down inside here, just to blow some air across there. I'm a little skeptical of how well that's going to work. I can't imagine the circulation being too good. But that's certainly an option. So I'm just going to put this back in. I got my vents back in here now. So another thing that's an issue, not so much an issue for me though, is you'll notice there's really no way to touch the power button. The only way I do have to do it is I pull these vents out, and I can reach it from the back, obviously. That might not work so well for other people, so if you're thinking about doing this yourself, I really have no idea how you're going to get to the power button. A couple other alternatives I considered, but obviously I decided not to do because for me, pulling these vents out was pretty damn easy. But I could drill a hole right here and push the power button that way. Even if I drilled a hole, I'd have to find a really oddly shaped piece of metal to be able to do it consistently. Another option I thought of was taking the tablet apart, removing the power switch and soldering on two leads and dash mounting basically a power switch extension. Tablet's about 400 bucks. I'm really not in a hurry to start soldering it and potentially breaking it, so I kind of went with, if I need to get to the power button, I'll pull these vents out. It works for me because I really don't have to touch the power button that often. The battery stays pretty much charged when the car's running. It's low right now, but just kind of for random reasons. I was running the tablet a lot with the car off, but typically with the car running around, driving around town, that's enough to keep it charged. So that's about it. In terms of apps and everything, I don't want to go into a whole lot of detail because I'm pretty sure everyone knows what's available on Android. I've got all the music apps there on the left. I use Google Maps pretty extensively. It works pretty good in my area. Waze. I've been experimenting with Waze. I haven't used it a whole lot, but I'm going to use this a lot in commuting. Just kind of give it a shot, see how I like it. That's about it. If you have any questions, just feel free to message me. I'm probably going to continue to be working on this throughout the summer, kind of fixing up issues and maybe looking for some additional functionality. One thing I'm looking at doing is getting a Bluetooth. I don't know the exact name for it, but was it OCD2 or whatever? I can't remember. Plugs in down here, and you can pull all your engine data. It syncs over Bluetooth and through an app. I think Torque is the most popular app, so you can look at all the information about your engine, including error codes and everything along those lines. Just waiting to save up a little money to go buy that guy, because project was pretty expensive. I initially thought, oh, a couple $100 for a tablet, a couple bucks for this, $100 for an amp, but I would say, all said and done, it was about an $800 project. Tablet was $400 on eBay, or not eBay, Amazon. This was, $20 for this kind of stuff, $200 for the Alpine amplifier. But then you just get lots of random expenses. Like I said, $20 for this, probably $40-50 in cabling. So it can get pretty expensive pretty quickly. But considering the functionality it puts in the car, I think it's a pretty small price to pay. If you were buying a new car, they'd probably charge you $1,000 for some crappy GPS that didn't update and had software from like 2004. So I'd say 2008 $800 for a Android tablet's not too much to spend. So, like I said, if you have any questions, just send me a message. So, that's it.